Okay, so I made this documentary. It's 25 minutes long. It's about my music, how I made it, what music I have. It's not the greatest, and it could be improved. And here's how.
Popping.
Right, so I'll be honest with you. The overall flow of this documentary is pretty slow. The start of it is just me talking about how I became a music maker, the first album I made, and I just go through all the albums in chronological order to the last one, and then the upcoming album to advertise my new and improved upcoming album, Trapped in a Loop. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's pretty boring. There's a lot of stuff with this that I could have done to make it better, because it literally is just me sitting down talking about my music for 25 minutes, which to most people probably isn't the most interesting thing in the world. And that documentary was my second attempt of doing it, and anyway, in the first place. So yeah, the first attempt didn't go too well because it literally was just me sitting in one room, not about seven, just talking to camera for about 25 minutes with absolute major noise in the background, like turbulence fan noise, like you'd think like there's an airport in my room. So yeah, it didn't go too well. But I came back with a go, and it came out better than the first time. I had better equipment, I could do more stuff, but as I was about to film outside, the heavens opened, so I was stuck indoors. However, I did actually move around other than one location. So, being stuck indoors with limited resources, I tried my best with what I had, and it came out with a 25-minute documentary of me talking about my music. When it came to the editing process, it was pretty simple. I could have made a lot of stuff better. Could have like switched things up a bit. I did at one point. Near the end, I tried to add a bit of a horror aspect to mix it up, but other than that, it could have been a lot better. But we're not here to talk about the overall thing. We're here to go down to the nitty-gritty detail. So to start off, one of the main things I would have changed if I can go back and change it is a major detail. I'm not called R.J. Beats anymore. No, I am taking on a new name of Nexo, which is Nexko. I had been wanting to change my name for quite a long time, and I finally did it about a month ago. I have a new channel now as well, but my old channel is still up and everything's still there. So obviously due to this change, I would have to add in another segment updating my fans of the name change and where they can now find me on my new channel. Also, I could have just mixed it up a bit. Now that I look back, I feel like just doing my album start to finish from the beginning to the end was a bit stupid. It would have been better just to mix it all up to make it a bit more surprising and entertaining and to keep the audience engaged. The album I began working on after a while was called District Zero. Now, District Zero, You hear that? That's a lot of noise. The locations for where I filmed were not the greatest because my lounge in my house is pretty big, so there was a lot of background noise that I tried to edit out as best I could, but I couldn't get it all out in the end. So a lot of the lounge locations where I talk, you just hear a lot of background noise, which kind of sucks. When I introduce the album as well, and then I start playing the music from that album underneath it, what I should have actually done is just introduce the album and then just, instead of talking over the music, should have just had a dedicated like 30-second clip just to the music so people could hear the music a lot more clearly and get a better feel for it. Over the next album that I made, Expectations at Midnight. was when stuff, I believe, with my music making started to turn around a bit. Like so. You can see from the way I changed that edit there that playing the music first for a short while makes it a lot obviously clearer to hear as well, and the audience can better understand what I'm talking about instead of just the music being drowned out by my talking. I actually had a whole other section of footage for this documentary, which was me screen recording how I actually make my music, and then I did some voiceovers talking about the process behind making my music. However, obviously, the documentary itself was already 25 minutes, and we're pushing it at this point, so I decided just to cut that part out and get rid of the voiceovers. The voiceovers themselves, anyway, did sound pretty bad as I just recorded them through the camera audio, which was a very bad idea. However, now that I look back to it, I could have actually mixed up that documentary a lot more by adding in some sections of how I made my music in between, instead of just getting rid of it and just talking primarily about me making music for 25 minutes. It would have probably been more interesting to the audience to find out how I made it, the process behind it and whatnot, than seeing it on screen. The only tiny part I did add was I kept some of the recorded footage that I did of making it and just very quickly overlaid it when I was talking to camera in some parts. But as I said, it would have been much better to just have a more detailed section for how I made the music. Due to the lack of extra content, I tried to make up for it with some behind the scenes clips that we filmed while we were out filming the music video for Melissa's work. However, it's about as awkward as you'd expect. Together, and that's what made the song itself.
So, I wanted to ask you, did I portray the character in your music video as the director told me to?
Yeah, of course. I mean, when Melissa suggested that you helped us film the video, I was open to it, of course, and you've really captured the creepy girl? creepy girl vibe, like, yeah, that I also was thinking of, like, as a character. The makeup's really good. It's great for the role. It really helped capture the psychedelic, scary vibe we were going for, and altogether, I think it's gonna look great. The next, So yeah, admittedly, it's not the best, and it's pretty goddamn cringy. Right at the end of the documentary, where I tease my newer album coming out, I give a date, which is 16th of the 1st, 2020. That was the release date of the album, and I also had Melissa's music video coming up as well. So another change I could make is provide a link or show people where they can actually find that music video now, as it is out. Maybe an age rating, because I mean, some of the stuff, especially near the end when I had clips from the music video, I mean, it's not really for young audiences. I mean, yeah, that is a knife, and yeah, that is pretty scary. So yes, I would have added a age rating, probably about, say, 15. It just... So yeah, they're all the changes. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you want to watch my documentary, you can find it on my R.J. Beats channel or on my R.J.L films channel. If you want to indulge yourself in a 25-minute documentary about me and my music. Bye.